Hey MJ, thanks for coming on, taking the time to talk to us. Why don't you get us started with who you are, what you do, and paint me a little picture about what was going on in the business before we started working together.
Sure, happy to. So my name is Marie-Josee. I'm an ESG advisor. I help companies improve their ESG reporting to their investors. I've been in the advisory space for a few years, but went out on my own earlier this year. And so the client servicing aspect was very familiar to me, but the business development aspect was new, and came across your service offering actually via a friend who referred me, but also seeing your content on LinkedIn. And it hit a nerve, obviously spoke to a need that I had, and engaged.
So tell me, what did it feel like to go out on your own? You obviously had a ton of experience and a track record in the advisory space, but to go out on your own and to have to drum up business for yourself and sell and deliver, what did that feel like in the beginning?
Yeah, so uncomfortable, I guess, is one of the words you could use, especially if this is not something that you've done before. And being a subject matter expert, which consultants typically are, not just speaking for myself, but in general, being a subject matter expert has little or nothing to do with the ability to describe what you do and reach out to potential clients in an efficient manner. And identify and engage with and select the clients that you want to do business just as much as them obviously having a need that you can meet with your services.
And MJ, there's a lot of places you could go to get help on marketing, business development, client acquisition. What was it that kind of made the difference and made you comfortable jumping in with us?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually, and I must say it's not that I was actively looking. I think I had identified a need. Obviously, the challenge is, how do you get in front of clients? How do you get clients to know you exist? And I would say that what attracted me to the 90-day pipeline was a clearly articulated service offering, and obviously you were describing exactly what I was going through, or exactly the pain points that I had. And then through the conversation, it just made sense. And, it's good approach, good technique. It fit with my schedule. It was flexible, adaptable, and the price point was appealing.
So MJ, let's talk through the experience now. You jumped in with us. We worked together for 90 days and beyond, actually. What were some of the big shifts that you experienced in the program? We'll start with the first one. What was your first big takeaway?
Yeah, so first big takeaway, hands down, is the mindset lessons. So, you don't want to call it psychology if you don't have to, or if you don't want to, but mindset lessons are hugely important. We are dealing with people. We are people dealing with people. There's a whole bunch of psychology. Being in business on your own, being a consultant, is not an easy thing. Sometimes it's lonely. It's a lonely process, and just the lessons learned through the process in terms of mindset were hugely valuable, great support, and things that you can go back to on your own on a daily basis, or whenever you need to.
I'm going to put you on the spot, but can you give me an example of how your thinking has changed in a specific way?
Oh, totally. Key for me, which actually helped align my personality, who I was or how I was personally, or in my personal life and in my business life. Speak your mind, make a statement, don't stay neutral, take a position, have an opinion. I tend to do that on a regular basis, and to be able to do it in a business context. And yeah, you won't please everybody. Not everyone will agree with you, but you will attract like-minded clients, and those make for better clients. That was huge for me.
I'm curious because we don't talk a lot about the mindset stuff in the marketing and the kind of the front side of things when people come in the door. Did you expect that to be a really transformational part of the process? Surprise to you?
Yeah, surprised the extent of it. Absolutely. That it's actually a huge part of the process of the coaching part of it. There's the tactical part of it, which I guess would be like the second takeaway for me. And it's a combination of the two. Mindset is high level, psychology, how people think, how people feel. It's about what they feel and more than what they say or what they do. And then the tactical of how do you go about doing things? How do you formulate? How do you phrase? What you do, what you don't do, frequency, volume, those kinds of more tactical elements. So yeah, it was a little bit surprising. Hugely pleasantly surprised, I'd say.
Awesome. So let's talk through that that second big takeaway now, because now we have an offer. We know what market to pursue. Obviously, it's intimidating to go to the market. How do we work through that challenge together?
Well, some lessons, some exercises, I think, and breaking it down into different things to do, before, rather than trying to give us a whole picture in one shot. So breaking it down into smaller exercises that really focus us, and then it's an iterative process, and you can actually go back to some of the things you did earlier as you're learning, as you're adjusting, and because sometimes it causes adjustments in our approach. In even, maybe even the markets we target or the services that we articulate. So it's an iterative process. So breaking it down into smaller steps was very helpful.
How do you feel about your positioning now in the market? The way that you're putting yourself out into the market. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, good, comfortable. And it speaks to confidence. It builds the confidence.
Yeah. And how are prospects responding to that positioning?
I think, well, it's a continuous improvement process. But obviously people respond better to you if you're coming at it from a position of comfort. And I think that's also one of the lessons, going back to mindset, about, having the confidence that you're not selling, actually, that you are, providing advisory services, and that you're meeting a need, and that your clients need you. And if it doesn't work out with a particular prospect, then it wasn't meant to be, and there are other prospects out there. And so that the correct matching of prospects is an important feature as well.
Jay, do you feel like now you have an approach that you can own, that you understand, that you know how to execute to turn strangers into leads into clients?
Do I feel? Is that
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And but I think we as we go through this process, there are ups and downs. There are good days, bad days. There are days where the mindset is 150%, and other days where you have to go back to your notes and listen to I recorded my mindset, my morning formula, by the way. And I think having the support, having a resource to be able to go back to, and you can send an email, you can ask a question, also a community of practice, the ability to reach out to others who are in a program at the same time, being able to see that others are going through similar experiences, going through, positive or negative, learning the same way. It's actually comforting to know that you're not alone, and that others are going through similar processes, and less lonely. And then to be able to ask questions and kind of share, that's also very helpful.
MJ, I'd love it if you'd tell the story of that one deal that we talked about recently, and I won't mention the name for the client's privacy's sake, but the one deal where I remember you told me, oh, I got this meeting from this outreach that we did, and now it's not going to go anywhere. And the last time we talked, you're like, oh, I think we got a deal. Can you tell us that story real quick?
Yeah, sure. So as part of the program, one of the tools that we develop is, things that we can offer in our outreach. And also I had developed a tool to be able to do that. And through LinkedIn connection campaigns, etc., had come into contact with somebody, had offered to do this product, this service. And yeah, expectations were, it was almost like a shot in a million, expectations were low, and I guess that's always the best when expectations are low. And the person responded favorably. We had a few exchanges. I provided the service, and that eventually turned into an advisory mandate, and in a relatively short period of time. So yeah, it worked.
How much time did it take to get from initial contact?
About 2 months, 2.5 months, which, in some areas, in some businesses is a long time, and other businesses is super short. I mean, that's one of the lessons learned going through this process is things take time. Things take a long time. You have to be patient.
Well, you're working with big public companies, right? So the sales cycle is, at a minimum 3 months typically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
MJ, any other notes about the experience you think are important to mention?
Well, I think the combination of the advice, the coaching, the tactical, the tools, the community. I think it's a combination of all those things put together that make it a really valuable program for people who are in the space, consultants on their own, running their own businesses, to leverage.
Awesome. How do you're a few months, I want to say 6 some odd months into running your own professional practice. And we talked about what things were like before and some of the challenges. How do you feel now about the way forward for your business?
Definitely more confident in the long-term viability of it, because you're developing tools to continue fueling your business, regardless of how big you want it to get or not big. Everybody has their own objectives, and so the knowing that I have developed a skill set that allows me to address business development, which is obviously a huge component of anybody who's in business for themselves, is very comforting and confidence building. Yeah, it's a gift.
Last question for you, MJ. If someone's watching this video, which they are, and they're like, I don't know, I'm on the fence. Should I jump in with this guy? Should I join this program? What would you say to them?
I would say you won't regret it. You will learn something for sure. It will not be a waste of your time.
Awesome. MJ, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.